We need to finish yours.
Dating history.
I pretty much.
This was going to get interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of.
No,
I
say
already
it.
said like peace and doesn't quarrel, but like I think one of the most important things you need to do as a guy is protect your peace at all costs.
Okay.
So
I
a
agree.
quarrelsome woman is enough to upend your life. And look, a man who's got serious issues will also severely fuck up a woman's life. But you add mental illness into the picture,
Oh, great.
could ruin your life. So one of my preferences, I don't know if I want to go here.
Oh.
No, you should say
No
it.
mentally
Yeah, say it.
ill
You gotta say
women.
it, yes.
Well, I'd say no major mental disorders like bipolar, BPD, any cluster B personality
well, that fucking
disorders,
sucks.
APD, BPD, HPD, NPD, no self-harm, suicidal
How do you
ideation.
know
I
so
got a
many?
What
question.
if? Wait, I have a question. What if somebody was like severely like depressed, like had
handle.
like what's it called, like major depression, and went through that phase of having like suicidal thoughts, but then worked through it and is doing better. Like had that history, but has like taken action and responsibility. Would that be an exception, or would you still like no?
Yeah, that would be my question. What if you knew they had like a solid support system, like they see a therapist, they see a psychiatrist consistently?
Red flag.
Why is it a red flag?
So you're calling me a red flag?
But what
Well,
if,
I'm,
it's, what if they
I'm
took
probably a red
responsibility?
flag to you. Here I am. Maybe.
Because I'm bipolar.
Okay.
You know? So.
Well, there's degrees to that.
Exactly.
Bipolar can manifest itself in different ways. Look, it's possible that I could meet a woman who has one of these things and she's got it under control. Just
I get what you're saying. You
Like,
just
what
wanna
if
keep
it's
your
like
peace. You gotta
genetic?
keep peace, that's
Like
fine.
she
It-
can't
it
control
is,
it.
but
cool.
see-
What
but
if you're
see-
genetic and you're short?
Yeah, but see, that's what he's talking about. I mean, dating is not fair. Like at the end of the day, dating is not fair. Attraction is not fair. It's just the way it is. We have certain proclivities and
100%.
tendencies to want to date people who are, don't possess certain qualities. And when you talk about personality disorders, a lot of those are genetic. So we run the risk of our kids possibly being exposed to that, or them having that themselves. Like our kids being like that. But it can obstruct the relationship. It can obstruct our ability to bond. It can obstruct the way we resolve conflict, the way we manage conflict. And that's why it's more of a headache dealing with a woman who has those kind of issues. I've dated women who've been in therapy, and I will say that therapy doesn't always work the way that it should. It doesn't work if you don't apply it. And they still fall into the same behavioral patterns, the same behavioral tendencies that create conflict in a relationship. And after a while, it's just cyclical. It recurs over and over, and then you're just like, I had enough. I can't do it. Don't want to do it.
Can I add to that? I mean, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. But I don't deal with them as bad anymore, but I deal with like debilitating like panic attacks. And I've been seeing a therapist, and I see a psychiatrist. Like, I'm not secretive about that. And I think when most people go to therapy, they think this therapist is like a doctor. They're going to fix all my problems and I'm going to be good. And it's really like that therapist is just there to listen to you and support you. And you have to put in the work for yourself to get to that place where you can communicate with your partner. And when you do have, like for me, if I had a panic attack, I could, calm down from that and then like explain to them like what happened. And I just feel like for me personally going to therapy, like I've learned how to communicate with people so much better. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what therapy is. Can confirm, and you have to put in the work. You can't just she said.
Yeah, you
And,
have to
a lot of
apply,
people just
yeah.
go on medication, and they think
I
it's
mean,
gonna
that's
fix their
your
problems. but-
preference, though. Some men can handle women like with that.
Men with a lot of patience.
Do you not have patience?
It depends.
I'm patient.
It depends.
I'm pretty
He's saying it's
patient.
selective
I'm pretty
patience.
patient.
Yeah, I have selective.
But it's in the same way that, see, I think maybe this is a shocker because most men are not really open with their preferences, standards, and boundaries. Women often never hear men actually articulate what they want.
It's better if a man speaks about it, though.
Right, but look, I mean, you said that, sorry, what was the word you used? That you said handle?
Not handle.
I don't want to have to
It-
handle somebody.
I meant it in a way where it's like they're capable of sitting there and listening to you and like understanding it.
But why, if you're dealing with a man who has options and there's a woman.
Oh, if he has options, I'm not going to talk to him. Like, as if I want to pursue something with him and he doesn't and he's still seeing those people,
Sure.
whatever, bye.
But in the same way that women, just like her, she went on 14 dates with 14 different men in 14 days. She picked, of those 14 men, keep in mind she had 14 other dates planned for the next 2 weeks, she picked the most optimum men of the 14.
Okay.
In that same way, men are also entitled well, maybe entitled is not the right word. Men are also able to pick the most optimum partner.
Sure.
So, my personal view is that, and I don't see how this is like a crazy hot take.
It's not. It's also one of those
don't
things.
date people who have mental illness.
I think it's actually commendable for Brian to admit that he can't handle that because
No.
there's
It's not a question of handling.
No, I'm just
in the
trying to-
same way that I don't want to handle a woman who's a murderer.
No, I know that. I'm just what I
don't
was
want
trying to say.
handle a woman who's
That's
a
kinda different, though.
pyromaniac.
Yes, you
It's
shouldn't have to
capable
handle it.
of
It's not your
handling
responsibility to handle it. I was
emotions
just
more.
trying to make a point of
Sure,
I
go
know
ahead.
men that will get into relationships with women that have disorders like that and lie and act like they can, and then when the woman is disappointed after a couple weeks or months because they realize this man just left them in the side of the dirt when they
Yeah,
had a
my
manic episode,
ex-boyfriend.
like wouldn't you rather have a man dismiss you right away for your mental illness rather than lead you on for months thinking that he can deal with that when he actually can't?
Well,
Like I feel like that's
I mean, I
more
would
respectful that
prefer
he could
that.
admit that he doesn't want to be in a relationship with someone like that because it would just
But I also
make him
don't
more
tell
of a-
people right away that I'm bipolar, you know? Like,
But
I'm
like,
not, if I'm
why
on a
would-
date,
no, but why wouldn't
We're
we
just having a conversation about
Yeah.
it. Like,
No, yeah, I'm just saying like it's
Did
it's
I-
actually better of being a better person to state your preference straight out like that than lying to someone saying that, yeah, I'm fine with that, and then after a couple weeks they realize what that actually entails and then they're like, oh fuck no, and then they've just hurt your feelings
Sure.
and treated you like
Well,
shit.
I could see that because if someone was like, "Oh, I don't want to see you anymore because you're mental illness,"
that's
I'd probably be like,
that's a little fucked up.
okay, I don't want to have a relationship with you. I mean, we're probably just incompatible. Like at the end of the day, then yeah.
Sure, you do you.
Word.
look, again, could I meet a woman who does have one of these disorders and she's got it really fucking under control and she's got a strong constitution and a strong mind?
Yeah.
Yes. However, it is kind of my general practice, unless proven otherwise in some way, to avoid people who have like cluster B personality disorders. It's just like I dated a girl who had BPD, wasn't good, was not good, and luckily it wasn't that severe, but even for like that caused so much issues in the relationship. And so I think one of the most important things you can protect from a man, I mean, look, women can do this shit too. I think women are very selective already. Don't get involved with men who have the capacity and capability to absolutely fucking destroy your life. And it happens to be the case that people who are mentally unstable, if you break up with somebody, the normal thing is, oh, hey, sorry it didn't work out. I wish you the best. Take care. You break up with the wrong fucking person and they will stalk you. They will ruin your fucking life. They will stress you the fuck out. They will age you. So both men and women, but I'm speaking from the male perspective, you should not get involved with women who have the capacity to absolutely fucking destroy and ruin your life. Same with women. You should not get involved with men who have the capacity to absolutely fuck up your life. So you gotta be very selective here.
Depends.
So they have to be
but
pretty
so you
pretty
admit that-
mentally ill for you not to want to be with them. Because I feel like that's like
What do you mean? This
I'm-
is like common sense to me here.
No, and I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying like I thought you meant like if you have any mental because you said psychiatry therapy, that's a red flag. So it sounded like you were like any mental illness period, but it sounds like
I said if
like
you
even
add
anxiety.
mental, what's that?
Like even anxiety, you wouldn't.
Well, I
be
mean, look,
with
I
someone.
have anxiety. I used to have panic attacks, and what I did was, occasionally I still have some anxiety. I saw like a person who specialized in it. I had like a month of sessions, and luckily, I was able to
Have you ever been
overcome.
depressed?
Huh?
Have you ever had like a stage in your life where you felt somewhat depressed?
Have I ever been depressed?
It doesn't have to be like extreme. It's just like you had a point in your life where you felt really
people
down.
say there's clinical depression, right? So I'm not I don't think I've had that, but like are there periods in my life where I have not been happy or been upset about things or depressed? I suppose you could say yes, but I didn't. Well, I think this is a big difference between men and women, and so I think talk therapy, well, it's not clear to me if that even helps women, but as a man, I don't want to talk about my problems. I want solutions to my problems. Talking about my problems does nothing. So
That's facts.
I am kind of, talk therapy to me is kind of,
Bullshit.
What about cognitive behavior therapy? What are your opinions on that?
I think I'm not super familiar with it, but I think that's like changing your behaviors to
based on your
And
values.
changing your thoughts.
I think,
attitudes,
but
your
that's
feelings,
like
your behaviors.
something that's actionable. But just going to a therapist to almost like,
Talk therapy is bullshit.
Yeah.
to me, I don't think that would help me. I want either.
Everybody's different though.
Well, my view on it is, if I have an issue, I either need to have a solution, or if there is no solution, then I need to accept the situation. And talking about it, for me, is not really gonna be alleviating in
yeah,
any
you
sort
can
of way.
always go out and do things too, like go on a run or go on a hike, and
Sure.
it'll help like the anxiety and like being
Yeah.
sad, or going out with like friends, going
Sure.
to get dinner or something. But for other people, like
If it works for other people, that's fine. It's not
Sometimes
clear to
it's
me if it
better
does,
because
but-
they're not in an environment where they're around people who they are able to speak to if they are down. And so sometimes it's like your therapist truly doesn't know maybe who you are, but it's sometimes nice to just let it all out and someone's just listening.
Sure.
And you get that advice at the same time.
Sure. And I think there perhaps might be some benefit if you are like grieving.
Yeah,
There
like
are
death.
therapists that can, I think hospice will actually offer, if you had a loved one in hospice and they passed away, they'll offer therapy, and there's people who are specialized in helping people deal with grief when a loved one dies. I think that's okay. But like I don't know, me personally, I don't think going to somebody and talking to them about my problems, for me anyways, would be particularly helpful. If it helps other people, cool. But yeah.
Okay, continue.
That's pretty much it. Just look, ultimately at the end of the day, you need to protect your peace. This is my advice to men, and I suppose to women too. Somebody who's quarrelsome, it's gonna fuck up your life, and add some of these other things into the picture, can ruin your life. So I think people should be very, very careful with who they get involved with.